Iggy Pop is an American singer from Muskegon, Michigan. He was the frontman of the 60s garage band The Stooges, who were considered to be proto-punk. They didn't have a lot of commercial success, but they gained a reputation for the extreme antics on stage, mostly by Iggy, involving things like self-mutilation and exposure. After the band split in the mid-70s, Iggy went on to have a successful solo career. He's still alive and still going, despite being in his 70s. He usually performs bare torsoed. Between the Stooges, one collaboration, and lots of solo albums, there are 25 studio albums in total. And he's well known for being a long-time friend and collaborator with David Bowie. Hi, my name's Dan. If you know this album or if you're new to it, I'd love to hear what you think. Please put a comment in the comments box down below. And there's a big red button down there that has the word subscribe on it. It would give me a great encouragement if you would click on that button. In fact, you can click on it and not be notified for anything, because if you click on the bell, you can then choose not to be notified for any of these videos. Of course, if you want to know when I've done a new review, then click on all and you'll get notified. So, Iggy Pop recorded this album when he was 68, and we have to keep that in that context. And bizarrely, it's his highest charting album ever, both in the UK and in the US. It did really well. I'm not sure how that translates in relative sales, though, because it's a lot easier to chart these days than it used to be in terms of how many sales you need. And it's kind of like a collaboration, really, between Iggy Pop and two Queens of the Stone Age and one Arctic Monkey. So Iggy wrote the words for the songs, and Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age wrote the music. How to describe it? It's a little hard to describe, I would say. I would maybe categorize it as being dark art rock. Okay, so it's definitely got a darkness to it in the sounds. The drums often sound like they've been recorded in a bathroom, which seems to be quite a contemporary thing to do. It gives them a kind of live feel. There's lots of backing stuff, all sorts of different sounds are being used, lots of guitars, of course, some very lush bass sounds in there. And it's inventive and interesting, and in a lot of ways reminds me of David Bowie, particularly some of his later albums. So I enjoyed it musically. Iggy's voice is incredible. For a 68-year-old, this is quite an amazing voice. And in some ways, it reminds me of Johnny Cash's later records. It's, what do you do with a voice when you're getting old and it's dropping down real low? And the answer is, if you're Iggy Pop, you can make really good use of that voice. He's got this huge vibrato. I have no idea what the range of it is, but it certainly seems to be, it feels like it's at least a third musically, which is quite a huge shift, but it's still, the singing is still very accurate and on note, and it's quite expressive. The lyrics are varied. There's a certain amount about kind of rock and roll lifestyle. I'm not going to go into what all the songs are about. Some of them, I felt like a few of the rhymes were a little bit on the cheesy side. And some of the words seemed a little bit on the cliched side. But then some of them were definitely not. The two standout tracks for me were Vulture and Paraguay, both of which have a real kind of acidity to them. And it's fair to say he still has some rebel sentiment in him. And I started to feel quite sympathetic towards him. So by the end of my second listen through, I felt a bit like, yeah, rock and roll and rebellion, this is a good thing. And yeah, that's not my lifestyle. I'm not a rock and roll lifestyle. I'm a kind of, I'm a safe establishment kind of guy. So it's a little bit hypocritical of me to be going, yeah, rebellion. But there are some, interesting and slightly cathartic things expressed through this. Anyway, it was a nice album. I enjoyed it. I would definitely listen to it again. I may even get a copy for myself. I enjoyed it. That's it from me for now.
Culture waiting for life to end, hoping to profit. He's nobody's friend. If he gets near your bones, he'll clear. He'll jump your bandwagon till it's your corpse he's dragging. March